Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for showing up tonight on this sort of spur of the moment thing. Just wanted to hang out a little bit and address something that came out a week ago.
Absolutely. Good evening, guys. Salty, this seems a little bit familiar. I'm having a little bit of deja vu going on.
I know it's deja vu all over again. Uh, s- let's shout out some of the people who are here in chat tonight. I want to say hello to Rosie Gamgee, Stephen Ransom, Darius Munchausen. Good to see you, man. Nerdscape, Silverlock, Hardlight. Hail, you guys. It's great to see you. Thanks for everybody for being here. If you haven't voted in the poll, which is kind of what we're here to talk about a little bit tonight, please go ahead and vote on that because I'm very proud of the work that we did. Purple
Mm-hmm.
Valkyrie on July 8th, talking about arguably what I think it's undeniable was essentially 90% of what was officially released today.
Yes.
Do you agree with that? I mean, what was really the difference between what we saw from Amazon Brazil, which was publicly listed on YouTube, and at the time
Mm-hmm.
of my reviewing it with you, had 128 views, as well as numerous people on Twitter and other, even Tolkien shill fan sites, um, posting images, sharing translations? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what's different between what we reviewed and what we got today, in your opinion?
Honestly, it was exactly what we looked at with a little bit of polish, I think. So we had a few extra shots, and we had a little bit of extra voiceover that was added. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which was interesting to see. And obviously, yeah, we did actually get it in English this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it was substantively, narratively, exactly what we saw and exactly what we covered. That it resulted in getting 2 strikes on my channel, which we'll see when that gets lifted. It is interesting because I'm finding myself suddenly getting a lot more copyright claims on things that I'm doing that I didn't normally get. Now, I think a lot of people have been dealing with things in I know Zach's, Kyle, is talking about that on a lot of things. People are don't want certain things to get out there, and I don't really know what it is because it's not political or anything else. It's just weird. But yeah, yeah, Amazon flipped out on me. I'm sure there were other people they flipped out on too, but they flipped out
Yes.
on me and struck. They hit me. They double tapped me, like I've talked about. But that's not what the show is about. The show is about talking about this trailer that came out, which Purple, I thought we did a great reaction to already. But to talk
Mm-hmm.
about the reception to what you and I already saw, we,
Yes. Welcome,
you know,
welcome to the party, guys. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And for those of you who didn't see it, like I think you'll agree, we pretty much had worst case scenario 80% of what we got in the trailer today with what we got from the Brazilian teaser,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, it was essentially the same thing, but as we say, with a little bit of extra polish. So, whatever they did in those few days in between, it getting leaked and it being officially released, and them getting very uh, irate, I think would be the best way to put it with fans who were just doing what fans always do. We discuss when we find something, and you would have thought they would have been very excited to hear what the fans had to say, but apparently not.
Sorry, I'm getting hit by one of our amigos on Twitter. So
Ah.
D. John says Amazon Crime have turned it into the Fresh Prince of the Shire. And the Housewives of Rivendell. It sure as hell did look like that. I know there were some other channels talking about how this looked like The Last Jedi. I didn't expect the sinister tone of the music. I don't think that's something we did get in the Brazilian trailer, but I think a lot of us were just paying attention to what was a very CG heavy, CG forward world.
It was, yes, yeah, and that was mostly what was added. So we're the teaser trailer that we reacted to, it was mainly a lot of very quick jump cuts with the cast, with the voiceover from various characters. But with the extended one that we got today, there was some kind of panning shots, tracking shots. We saw a little bit more of the actual world that they are usurping as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, all those things. And what I want to do is I'm going to bring in a guest, somebody that I've known for a long time. But what I wanted to share was not what I think, not what Purple thinks, but what everyone who is viewing this trailer thinks. And I have that Chrome extension that lets you see things.
And there it is. Yes.
And chat, I'll bring you back, but let's take a look at it.
And this is the official Amazon YouTube channel, isn't it?
So I'm looking at the view count. So we're sitting at 1.2 million approximate views, and it only has that many upvotes and that many downvotes. I'm no expert on how this all works, but I know with my channel, usually it's around 20 to 25% of the actual views. People are kind enough to leave a comment or to leave a thumbs up. Do you think maybe that they are hiding things, or are people just genuinely like, whatever,
It's hard to say, to be honest. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that this has happened, and
Yeah.
I'm quite surprised that the comment section is still active at the moment. I'd be curious to see if that remains up in the upcoming days, because they are getting ratioed yet again with another trailer that's been released. But this is a pattern that we have seen with all of the ones that have been released.
Yeah. And Steve, I'm going to bring you on in a second, but I'm busy doing math. And the reason why I'm doing that is, and I don't know how to do math, but what would you call that? That's about 11,000. So we got 11,000 votes, and you divide that by, I'm not a math guy. Just round up. So that literally means that is the percentage of people who voted on this YouTube video.
Yep.
0.0009. For the most expensive show ever made, for $465 million worth of season 1, I'm having a hard time believing that those numbers are real. I am. And I don't know what it is. That's just an opinion. I can't prove it, but that makes no sense. That makes no sense, really.
And just out of curiosity, I did just go to the UK version as well, because they usually track about the same. So we have, would you like to pull it up?
Do you want to share it? Yeah. Do you have
absolutely.
it up?
Yeah,
all right.
Let me bring it across.
And while we're doing that, I know how to live stream. While we're doing that, I'm going to welcome Prophet of the Dragon, Steven. Steve, I'm sure you've been listening. We're looking at these numbers. You and I did a show last night where, we did a lot of talking about scissoring, but we're not here to talk about that tonight, Steve. But go ahead, Purple. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the UK version, exact same trailer. So as you can see, we've got 117,000 views so far. We've got 4.3k upvotes and 10k downvotes. So
wow.
It's tracking pretty much as we would have guessed, to be honest.
So that is 118,000 views.
Mm-hmm.
And they're getting, let's be generous and say 15,000 votes, right? That would be about 10%. That's it's low, but that's, at least it's within the double digit range, not 0.0009% like we're seeing on the American and arguably North American version of this trailer. Steve, what are you thinking on this? What do you think of these numbers? What do you think about the reception? And then what do you think about this trailer? I know you shouted me out in your own video today, and I want to say thank you for that, because I know it's one thing I try and do, and Purple, you and I talk about it all the time, is when we work with other channels, if we come across something that they've done, we try and acknowledge that I heard it from them. And
Absolutely,
we
yes.
appreciate when people do that for us. So thank you, Steve.
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding?
Thank
Good
you.
Lord, man. Anytime. You know that. I hope you know that, both of you by now. But
Yep, yep.
yeah, anytime. The trailer. Well, the numbers. Can you say oof? I guess is big oof. Um, I mean, I guess the UK numbers make a little bit more sense. I mean, 10%. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not terrible. But I mean, only 100,000 views is, I think, the more telling number there. I mean, that's
Yes.
pretty much nothing for that for the scale of this show. 100,000 is just well, pitiful. Let's just call it out. I mean, and you know, the swing, because I saw, I think I actually saw the video that I got linked to was the UK one, and I was surprised when I downvoted it. It was the positives. You know, it was around 2K positive. So the swing happened really fast because it was positive when I like the upvotes were beating the downvotes when I saw the video initially. So um,
Hmm.
I don't know. In the American stuff, I don't know, man. That the American uh, ratio to views to votes to thumbs up, thumbs down. Uh, that is, I don't know. That is a pretty strange anomaly. I think they're probably deleting some downvotes. I think that would I mean,
Yeah.
they've shown they do it in the past, so why not? Right. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Chat, we're going to get right back to you, but we're going to take another important metric. You all remember what Amazon's head of global marketing said right around the time when they got rid of Tom Shippey and John Howe left. They were talking about needing a global audience.
Hmm.
Well, Purple, tell everybody what we're looking at here. And again, these are real numbers in real time, as real as Amazon makes the comment section
Yes.
for their videos. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, bearing in mind all of these trailers seemingly dropped at exactly the same time throughout all of these different channels. So, this is actually from India. So, this is our Indian audience. So, they have over 1 million views for this.
Hmm.
A little bit closer in numbers, but again, so we have 11K upvotes, but again, we have 18,000 downvotes. So, even this enormous audience that they've tapped into is not interested.
It's almost like these plans to use ESG scores and look at people as, not as different cultures with different values, with different face systems, with different types of ways of looking at the world, all of which are valid, all of which, we should all allow to have and to have our identity, a national identity, a heritage. It's almost like that this stuff is no one's really interested in their bullshit, like,
Mm-hmm.
this whole agenda, it's almost like that. But yeah, it is fascinating stuff. It really is. And Purple, you and I we talked a lot today about what was going on with this video. Should we do a show about it? If we did, what do we want to talk about?
Yes.
From this experience, now I know that you were just double strike adjacent, so you didn't,
Mm-hmm.
get whacked like I did. But I
No.
guess now that a week has gone by, now that we did cover essentially 80%. I mean, and I'm being very conservative as to what we saw a week ago on this
Yes.
trailer. What do you take away from this experience? Um, how do you feel about where we're at, and how do you feel about, I guess, the reception of this trailer so far?
Honestly, I thought we did a fantastic job last week in covering what we, in good faith, found. I think that what happened to you is completely unjust. I think they were incredibly heavy-handed and very petty to strike a channel just doing what channels are supposed to do and doing what fans have always done. We find something and we talk about it. That's what we do because we love Tolkien. So for them to react the way that they did was disappointing, and to be honest, it's very strange to see how people have reacted today to the main trailer when everybody who has been following this for any length of time knew last week that we had this 80% content already leaked, and it was there. People could have talked about it if they wished, but people didn't seem to want to.
Yeah. Steve, what do you think? You talked about it in a video today when you did your
Mhm.
reaction. I mean,
Yeah,
does it scare you that stuff like this? I mean, and I'm an up and coming channel. I'm at 2,500 subs. I am a growing channel, but I certainly don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers or views on my videos. But um, I guess what, from your perspective, you're a content creator that just got monetized. After seeing what happened with the stuff that Purple and I did, does it make you less likely to want to cover things or to go out there and do some very basic investigative journalism? And by that, I mean typing in the words Amazon, Lord of the Rings, Brazil, and then find a teaser trailer on YouTube?
well, to be honest, I thought twice for a minute. I mean, I won't lie
Yeah.
about it. I mean, I never thought I was going to be monetized to begin with. So it's like I'm here now, and for a minute, I thought twice. I'm like, should I do this? Are they going to do some petty BS to me? It's
Yeah.
possible, and then at one point or another, you just throw caution to the wind. It's like, fine, go for it. What's the worst that happens, right? I'm back where I started without a YouTube channel. So what,
Mhm.
right? I've met a bunch of cool people from it. If I don't have a YouTube channel, I'm still gonna talk to y'all, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
it's one of those. And you know what? If it's not Rings of Power, it's gonna be Wheel of Time for me.
Oh,
They're gonna keep
both of
doing
us,
this
dude.
stuff. So it's one
Yeah.
of those. It's like, why, in for penny, in for pound. Let's just do it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I think they've sort of. I I thought twice for a minute. So I think what they're trying to do is to get people to think twice about some of this stuff, and it is just appalling. I think is probably the word, that since people have gotten so good at sleuthing the internet, including
Hmm.
Mhm.
YouTube,
Hmm.
that you are punished for finding something that nobody else found, and then because of Amazon's own bad management within their company,
Yeah.
they let the Brazilian leg of Amazon release content that should have been released, and instead of punishing Amazon Brazil's employees, you're punishing the creators that were smart enough and crafty enough to find it and break it, um,
Well,
which
I was
is
so
just ridiculous.
crafty. I typed in Amazon, Lord of the Rings, Brazil,
I you
and
know it.
I wasn't as crafty as the other 120 people who'd already viewed that video before we reacted to it. So I'm like, not at the top of the crafty Victorian class. Let's be
Dude,
honest, but I found it
we all
eventually.
know
You
you
know?
took hacker classes and you hacked into the,
Oh,
the
yeah,
Amazon
that's me.
servers,
Yeah,
and
that's how
you're
I
black.
found
You're a
it.
black hat. That's what you are.
That's
You're a black cat.
Yeah.
totally,
We know.
dude.
He was wearing his
Totally.
Sherlock Holmes hat whilst doing it. Yes.
Hey, you know what? I could rock that Deer Slayer. Don't give me ideas, man. I would
Heck
love to do
yes.
that. So this is Seregi. I'm gonna Seregarian Nathuria, and if I butchered your name, my sincere apologies. I saw you have left some great comments in this chat, and I just want to say thank you for that. Um, Speaking for myself, this is Seregarian. Am I saying that right? Purple, Steve. What do you guys think?
I believe so. Serigarian Natheria. Yes.
Thank
Great to
you.
see you.
Says, speaking for myself, I am discouraged from doing anything more with my own channel. Please don't feel that way. Um, like, I know what I'm talking about, guys. I've been doing this just shy of 2 years now. I have 2,500 subscribers, and YouTube did not want to get me to
Oh
2,500.
no.
And
Mhm.
it's happening to a lot of channels around my size and Purple's size. And I don't know if it's just an accident or something else is going on. I don't know, but you guys get out here and talk about what you love. Just talk, because that's
Yes.
all what I do, And Steve, that's what you did, you
And
know?
that's what we've been encouraged to do by
Oh yeah,
multiple channels. Get
yeah,
your voices out there, be heard,
yeah,
speak your mind. That's what we are told time and time again.
yeah. And there are those people who answered the call, and there are other people that started before I did. You know, I think about Snowdub. I think about Culture Casino. I think
Mhm.
about people that are out there at that tier. That have been grinding it longer than I have, and that we don't always agree on things, and we don't make the same type of content. But you know what? They're in this fight, and they joined YouTube for the same reason. They answered the call. Just like Purple, you've been on this a lot longer than I have, and you were part of the reason I started a channel. And Steve, I found you, I think, when I had 400 subscribers and you had like 120. And
Two, yeah, no, something like that.
it's
yeah.
because of our fandom. It's because of our fandom and the love. So, Sarah Garian, I have a very good friend by the name of Kyle. Everybody else knows him as Zach7. And when I used to get really stressed out, he said, remember, YouTube is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. You're supposed to talk about what you love and what matters to you. And if you do that, the views and the monetization will follow. Don't ever try and be anybody else. But I would amend that, and I would say, don't let these people intimidate you. We've been intimidated for years. They've been trying to intimidate us for years, calling us ist and phobe and misogynist and I don't know, whatever the du jour thing is, and wanting us to be silenced. And then we also are on a platform that seems a little bit silencing happy, and I'll just leave that right there. And you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, there's a little bit of shadow banning going on. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But the koofing about the weather, things like that, and but don't let anybody do that to you, because that's the whole point, is to demoralize you. That's kind of been the point of the last 3 years.
Yes,
is to demoralize us.
Find like-minded people. That's what we did. Find people who share the same interest, if not the same ideas as you, and collaborate. Reach out. Find different channels that have the entirely different opinions to you, and talk to them. That is probably the best way, and the way that we are going to win, and we will eventually win this. It's going to take a while, but it's a long road.
Well, and it won't be easy.
Well, the art of debate is lost, especially in nerddom. Well, I shouldn't say lost, but like they don't want to admit that it's fun to have a discussion about one character or another and have a disagreement. That's some of the best part of being around people that love the same stuff as you do, is you can, me and you can agree on 10 things, that one thing that we might disagree about, we may fight to the death over it, and then at the end of it, it's all good.
Well, in last night on your stream, when we were talking about Wheel of Time, we were having a lively debate like dudes used to do, where we were talking shit to one another and belittling each other in a good-natured way. But there was no dismissal, there was no disempowerment, there's no, there's no vitriol behind it, and no one like canceled somebody or threw them out because they said that they like this character or that part of the book better than the other. I mean, and I was in there with guys that are arguably at the scholar level for Robert Jordan, that they know that what color clothes somebody wore in chapter 14 of book 7. I don't know.
Not me. Not talking about me either.
No, obviously. I'm going to bring the chat back in. I'm sorry, guys. You know how it is. I start going down that road. And Purple Valkyrie, you are doing your best Zach's imitation. Let me just get back in here, and I promise.
No one can imitate Zach's. Zach's is the best.
No. Hail to the one and only Nico Glock. Hail to you, brother. For $5 says, hello, fam. Well, hail to you and your hat-wearing cats, Nico. It's great to see you. Pope Metallicus, I've had the honor of working with Pope Metallicus on That 70s Rock Fan show. If you're not subscribed to That 70s Rock Fan, does great takes on all kinds of music from all kinds of genres. He's a gentleman, knows his scotch. Hail to you, Brian. Pope Metallicus for $10 says, hail to the panel and screw these heretics that are perverting Tolkien's world. Unrelated, but I'd love to have you both on Rock and Roll Religion sometime. Hit me up.
I'd be honored.
If it's not during work hours, Monday through Friday, I'll be there. So yeah, dude, just hit me up. I'm honored. So, and maybe bring Steve too, because he's funny. Just saying. Hail to you. Thank you. I'm volunteering you for things, Prophet. That's what I'm doing.
I think you're muted, Prophet, honey.
Yeah. Steve's muted. He's a professional.
Hold on. I forgot I was muted. Use me for whatever you want, Salty. It's okay. Yeah. I'm good.
No.
I'm for you to share.
No, you're fun. You're fun to work with. But I mean, Steve, what was your takeaway from the trailer today? I mean, was there anything that you thought was a bright shining moment? Because I think a lot of us, I know I have a very long term supporter of this channel, Lyle Hammock, who's out hiking the Appalachian Trail right now. And hail to you, Mrs. Hammock, and to Little Hammock, his daughter. If you guys are watching this, just want to say that. But was there anything that you thought was good in the footage we saw today?
I don't know that I'd call any shining moments because it's funny because I did think of Lyle a little bit, so I tried to take it from that. I tried to put myself in his shoes a little bit, just sort of like take the trailer for what it was. I don't know. It was just, and I know that I'm very jaded because Amazon's already done me dirty, so I do admit that. But I was just sort of bored. I didn't really. There was nothing that got me hyped. Like, we watched the Stranger Things trailer, you get hyped. I even get hyped at Better Call Saul trailers at this point, because I'm just ready for
Yeah.
it. This was just sort of lukewarm and just sort of, wannabe hobbits with leaves in their hair and um, people climbing up icebergs again. It didn't help that I already saw 80% of it
Yeah.
because, the action scenes, I feel like they're just regurgitating the same ones. You keep seeing Galadriel in the head of a column
Yeah.
of horse. There's nothing like there's I don't know. There's nothing to get the blood boiling. It was, there were some pretty shots. Like I'll be honest, there were some like shots where like some of the rock formations, with the carvings of the human. I guess they were human heads. The heads in them were sort of neat looking, and um, that one sort of painting, I think it was the painting of her vision or whatever. I thought that looked cool. That was pretty much it. I mean,
Yeah.
I totally got taken out of it when she was basically that's Elrond, right? That she's talking to, basically saying,
Well, it's
shut
it's
up.
not, it's not, but that's the name of the character in the
Faux
show.
Elrond, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elroyd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, when she, you don't know what I know, shut up. So, and it's like, maybe that's taking out of context. I will acknowledge that. And maybe it fits in the scene. Maybe he's being pig-headed, but just adding that part to the trailer was just like,
That's not Elrond. To me, that wasn't Elrond.
It sure didn't
It
feel like
wasn't.
it.
So this is from Paul Bussell. Hail to you. This is an amazing compliment and appreciation, and it means a lot. He says, channels like yours, part of this greater community, does a lot of good. I was in a dark place until I found all of you. Well, I am really honored by that, Paul. I don't ever take anybody who watches my videos for granted as super chats. Every like and comment on my video, I will generally respond to, even the negative ones. And I started to do this because of the lockdown for the thing, which is apparently
The thing.
never going to effing end for some reason, and we all know what the reason is, though, right? Can't talk about it on YouTube. Yeah.
Don't go there,
Can't talk
man.
about it.
Don't go
Can't
there,
talk about
please.
it. No, not with two strikes.
Not yet.
But Paul, Paul,
No,
it means a lot to me because I remember when I found the channels that inspired me to start this. I felt the same way, when I walked out of The Last Jedi.
Yep.
And I was also going through some personal
Same.
stuff. It wasn't just a shitty Star Wars movie from Disney. Just knowing that there were other fans and other people that would talk to me and not talk down to me and not try and sell me something and just be who they are instead of trying to get me to buy a product or a timeshare or a lifestyle or sell me an ideology. It's just like, let's just talk about what real Star Wars is, real Doctor Who, real Star Trek, real Tolkien. And that's why I started a channel. Now, Purple Valkyrie, you have been at this longer than I have. Is that I think Paul is also talking about your channel as well. Do you want to respond to that?
Yes, I want to say, first of all, thank you, Paul. And it was an honor to get to talk with you in Dallas at the meetup. It was Paul was one of those people that we got to have a chat with, and it was so good. So thank you for that, and thank you for your kind words. But pretty much similar to as Salty said, I started this because getting locked down, and I was incredibly lonely. I needed people to talk to, and the best way that I knew how was to start a channel. I was incredibly nervous to do it, but just being able to talk to people, like-minded people, getting to talk to people in the chat, and getting to
Yeah.
work with people such as Salty and Prophet and many amazing people in the chat at the
Yeah.
moment. It kind of brought back what was missing. It was a piece that I thought I had lost, and getting to do this and getting to work on the channel, and it's brought a piece of me out that I didn't think was still available. I didn't think it was still there.
Yeah, very true. It's a part, I think a lot of us, what we dealt with whatever you want to call that bullshit that we all went through for the last couple of years, is taking, deadening who we are, our love, our enthusiasm, our passion, isolating us from other people so we can't have a direct conversation. And, for some of us, I think it's a hard road to come back from all that, but you will. You
Yes.
absolutely will. It's just every day is a conscious choice, But then again, I am not a doctor or a therapist. I'm just a dude with action figures behind him who is 50 years old, And I remember the world before all this, and I know we're going to win, like Eric July says.
Yes.
Just be ready for the struggle that's already happening. Just don't be under any illusions. It's just going to magically, someone else is going to fight it. Each one of us have a voice, and we can do what we can, and Steve, you and I started working together on Wheel of Time. You blew up, and you got monetized with the things you're doing. I mean, why did you start your channel? Paul is talking to you as well. Like, how do you feel about somebody appreciating, what you do, just starting out?
No, I'm amazed that I get to do this on any level. I've met so many good. I haven't been able to go to any of the meetups, but I mean, I've met so many amazing people through this. Not just who I get to stream with, but in chat. Um, so many people that show up in chat. I feel like we're friends. I mean, I never would have thought. I mean, I feel like I know some of you guys so much that I mean, I'm comfortable having my my greatest achievement on screen here. My littlest boy. I mean, he comes on and hangs out with you guys. I never thought I would do that. I never thought I'd be comfortable with that. I never thought I'd be able to trust a group of people that I haven't met personally to have a conversation with him and feel safe. So,
Yeah.
blessed is sort of the word. I mean, I know it's a little bit can be overused, but yeah, I'm sort of taken aback, and I'm so glad that we've all found each other, and I know exactly what he's talking about because I was in a dark place, very dark place.
Yeah, you were.
And
Yeah.
it's just fine. And it's funny. Last Jedi keeps coming up, but it was around that time that I found a group of people that were saying the same things I was, and I thought I was insane for thinking it, and nobody was saying it, and I couldn't believe it, and it sort of evened me out. So, but things like that is why I started my channel. I had this feeling Wheel of Time was going to be a disaster, and just I knew I
And it
was going to
was.
need, yeah,
And
and
it
I
was.
knew it, and from watching all the part of it was I didn't want to, I had a lot to say about the Last Jedi and missed it, and it was one of those in preparation for that I wanted to be able to get what I thought out there, even if it was to nobody, and it's
Yeah.
therapeutic, and it's wonderful that people are listening and enjoy listening and interacting, and yeah, it's awesome. You guys are all awesome.
It is, and we've talked about how anybody who wants to do this can do this, and it's also incredibly important. You talked about your son to remember that that it's the next generation that will be continuing this as well, and to have someone so intelligent and articulate as your lad, it makes me smile every time he's on. He's such a
Yeah.
treasure.
Little ham, man.
Talking about that, I know not to bring up the Dallas Fan Expo, but we saw a lot of kids there, and a lot of teenagers and tweens wearing all of these anime characters. I have no idea who they are. Like, I don't. But they are going to be just as passionate about their fandoms and the lore within those stories, whether it's One Piece or Demon Slayer, or I think I just ran out of all the anime that I know. Brandon, the anime guy, is going to punch me for that. But we saw a lot of those characters, and they were serious. And I stopped and talked to some of these kids, and yeah, they were kids, and they just wanted to tell me who they were. They wanted to tell me, I am this character from this book and she does this, and it's like, well, so what is her saying? And then this like 14-year-old girl like says something in Japanese, and I'm like, oh, that's the best thing ever. Like, okay, like good. But it's like it doesn't have to make sense to me. You know what I mean? Just like me playing Han Solo, in the 80s, running around pretending to be Starbuck from the original Battlestar Galactica. It's their fandom.
It was also really heartening to see so many very young cosplayers for Lord of the Rings as well. And these are kids that these films are like 20 years old. They wouldn't have even been around when they first came out, but they've still got the love for it. And it really, really did make me smile to see so many hobbits, and we saw several Gandalfs and Galadriels and Arwyns. Yeah. It was so good.
Did they arrive on a bus though? No.
No, sorry, I wasn't hanging out in the parking lot, dude. I was like,
because the trailer. Come on.
Yes, yeah. Oh, coming off the bus.
Got it. Purple got it. Come on, man.
Never change. Never change. Yeah. We got some amazing comments in chat. D. John says, best part of lockdown is that people were starved of new content and reached out to old content like Lord of the Rings and YouTube channels like yours. It's true. I remember watching some of the larger channels, like Friday Night Tights. I remember the first time Az came on, I remember when it wasn't, all the numbers watching those shows and everybody else out there, and a lot of us were finding things, and we were hearing somebody say things that we maybe had said informally to other people, like that we knew that were nerds, but to really, like Steve said, we're not crazy, and it's the same thing going on now with the Rings of Power, because I've said it many times in European Lore in his video today, and congratulations again on hitting 5,000, brother. I look forward to live streaming with you again. This we cannot call this Tolkien. We cannot, in my opinion, put the term Lord of the Rings in front of this. This is just the Rings of Power. That's all it is. Just like Steve, Wheel of Time, Season 1. And just like Wheel of Time, Season 2 that we talked about last night, is not Robert Jordan's work. It's not his world.
Not at all.
Yes, and we've seen this so many times as fans. It doesn't really matter what you're a fan of at this point. You would have seen, be it Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Discworld, tabletop gaming, comic books, whatever it is. Sandman,
Batman, Superman, gay Superman, Spider-Gate, everything.
Yeah, it's to the point where you hear your number called and you're like, no, please don't. Please don't make an adaptation of that. Please don't.
No.
I mean, no. I'm a huge fan of Brandon Sanderson too, obviously. Oh, yeah. Well, I shouldn't say obviously. And he's already done a few live streams saying Hollywood came knocking. It's like, gosh darn it. Please go away.
Yeah. And I made some comments because Brandon Sanderson initially dropped what were some fairly, I would say, tame but critical assessments of what Rafe Judkins did to Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson's books within the Wheel of Time series. The media tried to back it off. He never really backed it off, but he came right up to the edge. Sanderson did. And then he did it again a couple months later, but we all wanted him to do what we as YouTube channels had to do, which is we had to be the voice of saying this is not the world. And it has nothing to do with my gender, my sexuality, my religion, how I vote, where I live, who I sleep with, any of that. Those are not the reasons why I don't like your shitty Amazon show. You know why I don't like your shitty Amazon show? Because it is not faithful to the source material. It's made up bullshit that takes the names of characters that we all know and love, and you've turned it into something that is unrecognizable. Now I'm speaking about Wheel of Time, but I think we could all think about the Rings of Power with that too. You know,
Yes.
and there's nothing rage farming about that. What that simply is doing what I made a video about, like, how do we stand up to people who call us ist and phobe and all this other bullshit, right? And it's like, by just coming back to that original assertion, I don't like this show for A, B, and C reason, and you calling me an istophobe or racist, whatever it is, none of those things matter. They don't. Like, I'm not listening to you. You're not listening to me, so I'm going to walk away now. You know, I'm not going to sit here and engage with somebody who's being disingenuous. I'm going to shout out Snacks and Comics. This is a cool, very talented, creative guy that I get to work with in the Cotton Connection with Snowdub now and then. He has 3 different puppets that he works with, and my favorite is Gator. Gator, of course, is a demented, one-eyed puppet who likes to hump his waifu pillow. Yes, you heard that all right. So if you are not watching Snowdub Live and the Cotton Connection, I think Friday and Saturday night, and you want to have some adult, like, R-rated Muppet show that's not woke and is really funny and sometimes kind of crazy, check out Snowdub's channel and check out Snacks and Comics. He has his own channel as well. Fun guy, good guy. He is criminally undersubbed. I think he barely has over 100 subs, and I believe in these guys, and that's why I work with them. I'm lucky enough to get to hang out on shows that have puppets that I get to talk to. You know, like, start a channel so you can go talk to puppets too. In Purple, you've done that. As a matter of fact, your boyfriend is a stoner dragon, if I remember correctly.
Indeed, yes. Puff, he promises that he's changed, but we will see. But yes, you are absolutely right. We have some incredibly talented puppeteers that we are very lucky to work with, and Snacks and Comics is one of them. So please check him out.
The puppet tube thing is just like, it caught me so off guard. It is so much fun, and a child that may not be named might actually show up on one of them here soon. We're working it out, so that could be interesting. We'll see if that happens. But it's so much fun, man. I can't even. It's like, and I don't know how they do it, but good on those puppets for dealing with those men.
Yeah. Ian So Forth, hail to you, brother. Channel member, longtime supporter of this channel, says, hail, I'm guessing I missed the trailer reaction, or there was one. Is anything real? Well, Ian, I will say again, what we did at the beginning of the show is we already reviewed this trailer a week ago. And you got some exterior CG heavy shots. But we very conservatively already covered 80% of what was seen, and it was in my opinion, the substantive narrative around here in what we saw. So, Ian, you know, you maybe, and I really do hope I beat these 2 strikes. I think I should, because I presented enough evidence. But I hope that video will allow to be shown. It's just they have 30 days to respond on this, you know, and who's going to care in 30 days to look at my trailer reaction that essentially was this. But yeah, you didn't really miss anything. We're just kind of hanging out. But we are going to talk about some other articles that just came out.
Yes.
That I don't think anybody else has covered yet, because that's what I like to do on this show. We're not going to be here forever because it's very late for Purple. And let me get to this super chat real quick from Daniel. $10. Hail to you, Daniel. Another great guy we met at the meetup in Dallas. Says, take heart. The truth cannot be hidden. It seems like so many people are blind, but so many more are seeing the truth because of because of great people like yourselves who speak out. I don't know if I deserve that, but I'm trying to do the best that I can, you know?
Yes.
In Purple too. I'm lucky because I say it every show. I get to work with Purple Valkyrie. I get to work with Maxfield Von Priestley, with Zach 7, with Notorial Lifeform, with Snowdub, with Prophet of the Dragon, with OBG 70. All these people, you know, and together, I didn't know any of these people until I got on YouTube. And then somebody hits me on Twitter, and I don't even know them, and they're like, "You want to talk about this? You want to talk about that?" And I'm like, "Okay." but that's how you do it. You just start a channel and then you build it out. But Daniel, thank you. That means a lot because
Yes,
I know
thank you.
I'm not going to speak for you, Purple, but I put my heart into what I do, and I make the
We do.
content that I want to see. Sorry, go ahead, Purple.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And Daniel, it was so good to meet you at the meetup. Absolutely. We work very hard. We are very conscious of we don't want to put out subpar content. That's why we probably don't put out as much content as we could. But what we do put out, we work very, very hard on, and we try to give the sort of content that we would like to watch. And I hope that it comes across that way, that you guys like what we do, not just with the live streams but with the videos as well. We really do put our heart and soul into these.
Yeah, we're like working class YouTube. We all have day jobs, and
Yep.
we we do what we do because we're having fun, but we enjoy talking to everybody, and I wish I could do more too, but it's one of those trying to hone my skills and get better, but there's only so many hours in the day, and work always comes calling, right? I mean,
yeah, and you got kids too,
that too,
yeah. Matt Jones, go ahead, Steve.
I was gonna say they could take care of themselves. It's fine.
I like that. That's what they did in the 70s. My parents would I'd be like 10 and my parents would drive away, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're alone this weekend, and
they got
okay.
They got hands. They can cook dinner. They're fine.
Yeah,
They're okay.
Yeah, just bologna in the refrigerators.
Yeah,
no worries. It builds character. Speaking of building character, Matt Jones says, earlier I was kicked out of Nerd of the Rings members Discord for being a bigot. Well, I'd like to buy you a beer. I've spoken to him, and it wasn't him that did it. He's on the road. Still, one of his mods did it.
Wow. There seems to be quite a lot of that going around at the moment.
We were talking about stuff like this behind the scenes before the show started, and we're not going to get into that. But yeah, there are things like that going on, and I expect them to accelerate. I really do.
Yes, there is definitely a divide that has been drawn between the fandom. And I don't think for one moment that this hasn't been orchestrated. The last thing that they want is fans all pushing in the same direction. And fans have always disagreed because that's what we do. There is always the lively debate back and forth. But the vitriol and the nastiness that's going on behind the scenes, that is something new.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was checking on the view count for the Lord of the Rings trailer. Oh, we're going back to it.
Oh man, it's that bad?
Dear.
I'm just saying, and I'm Chad, I'm going to drop you out and bring you back in so everybody can see it. So just since we have, I know how to do this. Yep, I'll get there. All right, there we go.
Gosh, oh dear. Oh dear.
These numbers are still way off, you guys. These numbers are still way off. Remember that percentage? Based upon total views of nearly 1.3 million people, only 0.0009% left a thumbs up or thumbs down. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. I don't know, man. To not even hit 1%. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. I smell a rat.
Is the comment section still up, Salty?
Yeah, let's take a look while we can. Why don't I get struck here too? Because I'm Amazon's favorite these days. And let's see what we got for comments here. The top comment right now is, "This looks visually great. Seems the only way this thing goes wrong is if the writing and adaptation is bad."
There you go.
That's the best. That's the most popular comment.
Duh. Hello. So if it's just a bunch of pictures with nothing being said, it should be okay.
Okay, you gotta kind of admire the Zen-like state of that. Like, oh, dude, it's cool, unless it sucks. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, that's cool.
It looks pretty, but
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and we're getting here. It says still unsure how the story is going to be, but man, it's great to hear the legendary work of Howard Shore again. The Lord of the Rings trilogy will never be surpassed. The Fellowship of the Ring is his favorite movie to this day. Again, there was deliberate language that came from Payne and McKay telling us that, this isn't going to be like Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. This is not even going to be Tolkien, but we hope that bookshelf that you have all of your Blu-rays and DVDs and, like me with my, I can do this. Like that's Bilbo behind me. And, and I have all these other Lord of the Rings things that I got at the Dallas fan meetup, which I'm going to put in a different studio at some time. I forgot what I was going to say. I just got stream brain. What was I saying?
We were basically saying, yes, this is exactly how people are feeling, and they have tried to downplay Peter Jackson's work. We've seen it with the test where they've done interviews and asked them specifically, how do you feel about Amazon Lord of the Rings? And it's been very interesting, some of the answers that have come back from the Peter Jackson cast.
Yeah, and I didn't have a stroke. I just realized I haven't eaten all day. So I do that because I do have a job, and then I'm like, I'll eat later, and suddenly it's 7:00 my time, and I'm like, wow, my brain's not working. I guess maybe I should actually eat something. But these comments are, so this obviously going to be beautiful. Look by the trailer. I truly hope everything else follows. Lord of the Rings deserves to have its second age known and done well. How in a trailer with 1.3 million views are these the only comments, and they're only getting 310 upvotes?
Yeah, you'd think there'd be like, wow, look, that scene was so cool. Did you see like that? Or like, I don't know, something. There's usually a trailer that hooks you in, has that one scene that's just like, dude, I'm ready for it right there. There's nothing like that in this.
Steve, you're correcting my math, and we all know I'm not good at math. But,
I'm not sure if I'm right, but I just want to put it out there.
Yeah. I mean, it's I'm probably retarded, and I like using that word, and I don't care if it bothers you. But yeah, we're not going to go through all of these line by line. This is the one I wanted to end with. Quote, "It felt only natural to us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like." Lindsay Weber, the executive producer of Amazon's Rings, the Rings of Power series, in the Vanity Fair article of February this year. That's it. That's it. And then you have the quote from Peter Jackson back in 2002. He said, quote, "There are certain themes Tolkien felt were important. We made a promise to ourselves at the beginning of the process that we weren't going to put any of our own politics, our own messages, or our own themes into these movies. What we were trying to do was to analyze what was important to Tolkien and to try and honor that. In a way, we're trying to make these films for him, not for ourselves." Peter Jackson, and once again, Lindsay Weber, the executive producer of Amazon's Rings of Power, just this February, quote, "It felt only natural to us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like."
Shame.
Yes, and there is the crux of the matter. And then they wonder why there's been the pushback from the fans that they've received. And it's not coming from a place of hate, it's coming from a place of love from people, because we genuinely love Tolkien, we love the books, we love the world that he's created, and we respect what came before.
Well, it's all escapism, right? I don't want to go to common times, Middle Earth. I want to go back to Middle Earth when and escape there. I don't want real world stuff being injected in there. I just I want to live in the fantasy world that was created. That's what I want.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up in chat. I don't have a Zach
you're
tonight,
good,
and I am way behind. I'm not apologizing to you. I'm apologizing to the chat, Steve.
I'm apologizing for the chat. No,
Okay,
I'm
that's
kidding. I'm
great.
kidding.
Yeah. So Nico Glock for $10. Hail to you, brother. Salty, stop spreading fake news. See, this is part of the puppet stuff. Snowdub is a predator and the Cotton Connection is a cult. Well, hail to you, Nico Glock. I would still love to see you be on that show live. You cosplayed Mike Crotch at the Dallas Fan Expo quite well, and it was disturbing. But that makes good YouTube. So, yeah, hail to you, Nico. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna do. You guys, let's just do this one. Let's go to a similar article, and I will bring the chat back in. But Purple, I covered this with you way back when it came out, and why
Yes.
it's relevant is it exactly mirrors what Amazon's talking points were, and that's why
Mhm.
you see this established media running with this because they have literally taken the press release from Amazon and been told what to write, in my
It
opinion, and
is
also in
absolutely.
reality.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have got another article that we're going to talk about in just a minute, but I thought that this was worth bringing back up because, as you rightly said, this is what we have been dealing with as fans, and this was from February 18th of this year. So this is from Denner Geek, and why the Lord of the Rings has to embrace the change. You know, why, as fans, we have to just accept that what is coming is now the established fact, and they really go hard against the fans. This was one of the, as you say, articles that we covered quite in depth, and we were quite disgusted, to be honest, with the take.
And you guys, now that we've gotten through Boba Fett and Halo and that abomination of Kenobi, and you guys, you saw the playbook, right? Everybody knows the playbook now, right? Like, only now they're front running it, and they essentially did this because the Vanity Fair article came out a week after or before this article, but they all just lined up and they all marched forward with the same demoralizing attack on us. It's not about saying our adaptation is faithful to source material. It's just you're a racist because you don't like our mutilation of something. So I made a video where I called this Halo, Star Trek, Star Wars, the Rings of Power, even though I haven't seen it yet, in my opinion, it is counterfeit. We are being sold counterfeit goods at the cost of goods with buying a streaming service or whatever it is. Going to see a movie that has Star Wars on the title, it's counterfeit, in my opinion. It only has the name of it, but when you open this up and you try and ingest or work with whatever the product is, it fails. It fails structurally, and it fails from what it says on the box. And Wheel of Time for me was what really sent me over around the bend and got me fired up to work on this channel.
Yeah. Well, I think there is an article that uses the exact. I mean, there's probably one for everyone, but I know I pretty much read one that was word for word the exact same wording for Wheel of Time. You have to embrace change to enjoy the show. It's like, why? How about you just write it how it is? Why do we have to embrace anything? It's we own it, so we're gonna do whatever we want to it. So get ready for it and embrace it, or you're not gonna like it. It's like
Yeah, it's blunt force trauma, and that's what you do to hide your numbers. There is no great cultural revolution. There is just something being financed by people who want to change what we have, and they don't want us to be comfortable. Anybody remember that tweet? I think I first saw it on Gary Nerdrotic's channel. No more comfort, no more this, no more that, but the one of us, no more white comfort.
Yes.
And
Yes.
why do we think we're getting this stuff? Well, gee, is it really an accident, guys? Is there really an accident?
And they've brought out every excuse in the book to beat the fans with. They talked about how we're supposedly homophobic against Ian McKellen when he was set to play Gandalf. And does anybody actually remember that happening? Because I certainly don't. But it was a narrative that they ran with and picks up once again with this show.
Kayla Dare, are you saying you left a comment on that video that got deleted on Amazon? If so, Purple, will you watch the chat while I try and run the show, or because that would be? Would it surprise us that comments are disappearing off of YouTube that are critical of the Lord of the Rings?
No way.
Yeah. So why I wanted to pull this article up, and then we'll start winding down. Again, Purple, you were kind enough to jump on, and Steve, I just said, hey, get on my show, and you're like, cool, dude. And I just want to say thanks for being here. And oh, look, here's the pictures that got me struck. Here's the images that got me nuked off Twitter for a little while. Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
the Lord of the Rings. This is again from the same shill mouthpiece site. Follow things, bookmark some of these things, do screen caps, and then go back to these shill sites over time. That's why I wanted to look at what they were saying on February 11th when we're all ist and phobes. And part of what Purple didn't talk about in that article, because we beat it to death, is that if you don't like the Lord of the Rings, it's because you're an alt-white troll. And this is part of MAGA and all of this other stuff and Brexit and God, just all the wackadoodle, crazy ass shit that you'd expect, right?
Corrupted by the far right, yes.
Yeah, far right. But so now this same site says, why the Lord of the Rings? The new trailer is worth getting excited about. If you need to tell people to clap like a politician in the United States did, maybe you didn't do something worth clapping about.
Well, do they say why? Because I'd love to know.
Oh, they have. Steve,
I wasn't excited at all.
I'm glad you asked, and I will put this in the comment section because it is the most expensive TV series ever made, and they say it shows.
Oh
the set and costume designing are all jaw-droppingly gorgeous.
No. When you have a sword that has a hilt longer than the blade, there's something wrong with your costume designing. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh wait! This is you guys. The overall design has echoes of the designs of the Peter Jackson films without quite being the same.
What does that mean? It's like it is, but it isn't. It's like
that is what is commonly known as a word salad.
Bullshit. Yeah, it's bullshit. That's another word for it, you guys. They went so out of their way, guys, to tell us that this was going to be different, and this was not going to be Peter Jackson. This was not going to be anything else. This is going to be its own standalone thing. Now they're saying, well, it has echoes of something that you love, but it's not actually that thing at all. So it has a sword, so one sword is just like any other sword, guys. It has a woman warrior, but that's just, one woman. Doesn't matter if it's in Conan, Wheel of Time, the Shannara Chronicles, the Rings of Power. It's got Amazon chicks. It's got chicks in armor and the boss ladies. Just like Arwen, just like Eowyn, guys, just like Peter Jackson's movie, because they had boss ladies in it too. That's the kind of dipshits. That's how stupid they think that we are. And this is the part where I get pissed off, because it's like, I saw this bullshit with the Wheel of Time guys. And so did Steve, OBG70, Zach7.
Well, you guys were the first to point out that this is, the Wheel of Time was a precursor, a forerunner to what is happening with Rings of Power.
Steve, you and I used to talk offline about this stuff. And I used to say exactly that. I said Wheel of Time was the testing ground for what they're going to do to the Rings of Power.
Oh, yeah.
And you said that you hoped I wasn't right. What do you think?
Oh, are you kidding? They're using the exact same. I mean, they're clipping posts and stuff and using the exact same dialogue. I mean, you could go back and look at, go back a few months and you'll find a Wheel of Time article that's exactly worded the same and saying the exact same. This trailer was so good. You should be excited. Egwene pops out of the water and has goo all over her. It's like,
one thing that those of you who were not into Wheel of Time, and I'm not going to turn this into the Wheel of Time show, is what we got universally. If you are a reader of these books, the show that we got was hopelessly drab, looked small world, didn't have any narrative even close to what the books were, and the characters were aged up so that they could make the characters more relatable. And relatable meant feelings in hallways, CW level soap opera storylines, again, which had nothing to do with the characters. The fundamental story of the Eye of the World and Wheel of Time is that both men and women can channel, but there are only two genders. Spoiler alert, just like in real life. But women can use one form, men use a different form of magic, but that the male form of magic was tainted thousands of years before this series started. Now, why that's important is that men who use magic are hunted down or die from going insane in Robert Jordan's world. But in Rafe Judkins' adaptation, that's not the case. I want to talk about that just a little bit. Talk about it just a little bit, Steve. Did I cover it all right? I'm sure there are people from the White Cloak subreddit that would destroy that, but
No, I think
my point with all that is that Amazon in the creatives that they brought in, Rafe Judkins was a failed Survivor contestant who wrote some really tragic C-tier Marvel shows that got canceled. And they gave him a 15-book series by Robert Jordan, which is arguably, if not in the top 10 fantasy series of all time, in the top 5. And they give it to that guy.
Yep. And you know what? I remember thinking back. It's crazy, and I fell for it because I was so hyped to have a Wheel of Time show. But all it took for me to be ready for this was, I remember the social media post. He was sitting there. He had Eye of the World out, and he quoted a line from Eye of the World and said he was reading Eye of the World, getting ready to write his script for season 1. And I'm like, oh man, he's reading the book. This is going to be great. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And then I crashed, obviously, with what we got. But the same playbook. It's man, I don't know. And I think you summed up the magic world pretty eloquently, especially for anybody that doesn't know the show.
Yeah,
Very
I'm not trying to
understandable.
spoil it. One of the things that we did, a lot of us were say, go read the book. So when I would lose my mind reviewing each episode, I always said, this is what they did in the book, and this is why it's making us crazy. And a fair amount of people have started to read it. Somebody that I do work with, Nick McCabe and his brother Sam McCabe, they've read the book. Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House, he's reading the book. There are other people, I don't know, there's like a dozen, maybe 2 dozen people in my comments section, including people who come and say to me, I'm a third wave feminist and I'm lesbian, but I have to agree with your assessment of this book, and it's an abomination. Why would you do this to the female characters? They were strong enough on their own. And they literally are saying the only way that women in these shows have power is by making the men look stupid or evil. So, this is starting to not just be Uranist and a phobe. I think there are people who we probably vote differently and we think differently, and that's always been fine. That's always been the case. But I think there are people on that side going, you know what, this show sucks.
Yeah.
And it sucks for valid reasons, But yeah, Purple, I don't know, for you, was there a show? I know how much you love Terry Pratchett's world and Discworld.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have a lot of first editions, you have a lot of Terry Pratchett stuff. How did you feel? I know there were some pretty darn good adaptations, but the most recent one that came out, was the problem simply because there was diversity in casting and you're a bigot, or was it fundamentally unfaithful to the source material?
Well, if
I
you
think I know the
if
answer.
you
Yeah.
yes, I think you could probably guess what the actual reason was. Yeah, pretty much we had the same criticisms leveled at us when we said, you know what, this isn't Discworld. This is, you've taken characters, you've race swapped them, you've gender swapped them, you've put them in positions that they would never be in, that Terry did not write them to be in, all to push a narrative. And it is the same narrative that we have seen time and time again. And all we wanted as fans was for modern day politics, modern day sensibilities to be kept out of this show, for it to be a faithful adaptation as much as possible. And as you correctly said, we have had them in the past. We had them from Sky One, but The Watch, which is the show that we're talking about, was absolute trash.
Yeah. The Hogfather was fantastic. I like Terry Pratchett, but I don't love Terry Pratchett. I think he writes great books, and that's, again, one of the things about our fandom is we're not all going to like the same things. We're going to disagree about things. And, not everybody is going to read Robert Jordan. Not everybody's probably read all its Tolkien. Not everybody's read Terry Pratchett. And then there's countless other things behind me, like Piers Anthony, a Terry Brooks. There are so many other series out there, and you guys know what I'm talking about, that, God help us, we don't want an adaptation of these things right now. And like Steve was talking about with Brandon Sanderson, I think there is only one series that they're going to adapt, and we all know what they're going to do. And then we all know what they're going to do when they do it, and we tell them we don't like it. You know, it's kind of like Groundhog Day with this stuff, you guys. Yeah.
It is.
But let's get back.
The deja vu that we were feeling. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But yeah, and so this is the other reason is, oh my God, stop. One of the story themes that comes through clearly in this trailer are the multiple references to light and dark. And we see those themes reflected in the luminescent sequences of elven locations and the rich darkness of the dwarven mines. Why is this written like a middle school?
Wait a second.
Writing?
What?
Because they think we're all idiots. That's
They
why.
do. Talking about?
They think we're all brain dead.
They do, and that's why they make this. And I made this. Oh God, whose show was I on? I forget. Oh, it was on Max's birthday stream on Sunday. Happy birthday again, Max. I think, and we'll get right into that after this article. Marvel, the mighty Thor, whatever, Thor: Love and Stupidity, the movie that's losing money right now. I think they were actually making fun of fans right now. I think we've reached the stage where they really think so little of us. It's not enough just to talk over us and to pretend we're not there, but they don't like the fact that we're not watching their award shows and kissing their ass and celebrating their whatever cause du jour and going along with their climate stuff and giving up our this, you know, and we're not celebrating all of this stuff, which is not, woven into the fabric of what it means to be a human being. We are not going to be a collective of Borg, not in this country, at least as far as I know. And I don't want that. I got to stop where I'm talking. I don't believe that's going to work. I'm just going to leave that there. But the entertainment is starting to not talk over us, not educate us anymore. It's insulting us. And that's what I think happened in Thor: Love and Thunder. And I think we're going to start seeing it more, especially in Disney Star Wars. Now, I don't have any proof. I don't have any sources. I'm just telling you guys, like, watch the trajectory of all these things. It always has to keep escalating and doubling down, you know? Like, calling us names doesn't work in the press. They have to now call us names in the shows.
Yep.
Watch, it'll happen.
The best part is I wasn't insulted by Thor: Love and Thunder at all because I forgot it even was coming out and didn't watch it. So
yeah.
So, yeah.
It wasn't just you. It was a hell of a lot of people that decided to not watch it. You know, even more than the multiverse of mediocrity. Let me get to this. Didn't watch that either. Yeah. Let me get to the super chat from Ian So Forth. Hail to you, brother. Says yes, purple. Yes to that. The watch, and then the meh. No need. I know I watched that trailer and I actually read an article because we covered that on a Tuesday show 2 months ago or something like that, 3 months ago. Yeah, and you compare that with the other really good stuff like Going Postal, The Hogfather. You know, what was the difference? Faithfulness to the source material. You know, my message, my narrative. But,
and having Terry still with us. It's same with Tolkien, having somebody there to say, no, this is not what I want.
I will link to this article in the description for this video. Not that I want to give these people the clicks, but because I want you guys to take a look at how the marketing approach has changed for this show and how it just keeps soft pedaling to lower expectation. And we'll go with this. The story may be adding a lot of its own elements and taking some aspects of Middle-earth in new directions. But there's a love of Tolkien's world and the Peter Jackson movies that so successfully brought it to life.
Where?
What?
Exactly.
What? It's going to add a lot of elements, take some aspects of Middle-earth in new directions. So how many pronouns are we going to have in Middle-earth?
But didn't they originally say it was going to have nothing to do with Peter Jackson's world at all?
Yes, they did. They went out of their way repeatedly to say that.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to read the next sentence on purple. I'll let you and Steve. Both the beauty and the metaphorical
Oh my.
darkness of the elves comes through. Tolkien's elves may be good guys, but they are not all squeaky clean shining lights. There is darkness in their past, and we hear hints of here, especially in Gladriel's weary reference to having seen grim things.
She's probably watched the first season. That's what she means by seeing grim things.
You know,
Like-
this is written like a third grade reading book. You know,
Like-
I mean, it's literally written like we're all brain dead cannibal hicks.
Yes.
You know?
Metaphorical darkness. It's like, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Maybe the press got a different trailer they saw, because I didn't see any of that. I saw some like an orange thing with elves dead. That's about it.
I
Like-
saw what could have been just a very expensive generic fantasy. It didn't
Yeah.
say Tolkien to me,
Yeah.
not by any of the
Definitely-
characters, and not by the
definitely didn't
writing.
Definitely
Yes.
didn't look Peter Jackson at all. Like
No.
like the original trilogy. Not at all.
And if you look at the thumbnail for this video, you will notice that those were the costumes that were so richly depicted. Purple, I know that you have been to New Zealand, that you've been to the Weta Workshop, that
Mhm.
they keep saying that the Weta Workshop was involved in this project. And if I hear how John Howe was on this project, he was. But he was not the art director, and these articles are still repeating a narrative and a lie. Remember how the actress that plays Rose Tico was bullied off the internet by racist trolls, which didn't happen?
Nope.
They're doing it here by saying John Howe was the art director for this. He wasn't. It was a gentleman, I forget his name, who did the Chronicles of Narnia, which is why this looks so Chronicle of Narnia-like, not like Tolkien. And I know you can look at Alan Lee, for those of you out there, you know who I'm talking about, the artist that did a very different style of Tolkien artwork than John Howe did. It is very more, in my opinion, Alan Lee is a little more dreamy, a little more ethereal, but we didn't get that in the trailer. We didn't get Alan Lee in this. We didn't get John Howe. We got the Chronicles of Narnia with the billion-dollar generic fantasy of wham and power with 18-foot swords.
Yes.
You know?
Got a very heavy Game of Thrones leaning vibe to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stieg, Stieg Kenobi and I started out the morning by trading a couple different tweets about this and other stuff. Actually, got picked up by Bounding into Comics, and I think it's really cool. You know, I hope Bounding covers more small and up and coming channels that break news, especially around the Rings of Power. Just gonna park that right there. So yeah, the other thing that I want to get to before we go is a little ha-ha, and it is not going to be about the rings of mediocrity and double channel striking. It's going to be about how do I say this? What it's really going to do is it's going to what I do. This is very fortuitous. It's very prophetic as to the direction I think we're going to see. And yeah, I'm trying. There it is. The direction I think we're going to see our entertainment go. And much like we see in a lot of public events around the world, there are two distinct classes of people. There are the big, important people, and they don't have to do anything. And then there are the people who are the little people, and they have to do this because they're not as important as the big people. And where I'm going with all this is I really do believe Taika Waititi, what he was doing with Thor, I think they brought him in because they really despise us, and they really, really hate our populist, nationalist. We like having a culture. We like having a heritage. We like having our own currency. We like having freedom. We like not eating bugs and living in pods. And so they're
having
gonna
pride in your community, having pride in your past. Yes.
Yeah. Steve, what did you say in private chat that I need to worry about?
Just your DMs are showing on Twitter.
Oh shit. You guys shout me out next time.
Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing to see. Jesus.
I just making sure. I didn't read it, man.
It's not like
I'm just
it's not like I'm sending top secret stuff, but thanks for telling me.
I'm not. I
I don't know
what
how
you're
to do
sending,
this. I don't
sir.
know how to do this.
Hey,
No, I
hey.
appreciate it. The big channels do it. I did it too. It's just
I was busy just like crying at what I saw on the screen, so I just
Oh, I
glanced at
know.
side of the eye. Side of
I'm
the eye.
not blaming you. I'm just I need to eat something before my brain explodes. So guys, we're gonna go out with this. I think this is the funniest damn thing I've seen come from Marvel ever, and it's funny, strange, but I think it's also real. So let's watch a little bit of this.
Relax your mind and prepare for some positive affirmations from the cast of Marvel Studios' Thor, Love and Thunder.
God.
Yes,
You
fade
are
away.
worthy.
You are mighty.
Mm-hmm.
You are powerful.
Oh God, that bitch.
You're strong.
Sorry.
Can we have more of the goat, please?
Yeah, I'd rather pay $15 to watch screaming goats for 2.5 hours than anything with Tessa Thompson. Can I just be honest about it? Because I think the screaming goats would actually be more entertaining, and I'd have a much more soul-filling experience than Taika Waititi.
It is interesting to note that she does actually smile, because she did it there in that really brief clip. So why the hell can't she emote in the film?
She got to say she was powerful. I mean, come on, right?
King. That's King. That's King Valkyrie to you, Steve. It's King.
Yes,
King Valkyrie.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hadn't seen the movie. I didn't know.
Speak of the devil, Steve. I'm so behind, dude. You and we just started something, and isn't it funny how that happens? Like, you guys check out Steve Kenobi. He does great work with Miss Martin Muses. They do some really great chill talk streams. Steve's a good guy. He really likes Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman, the Dragonlance Chronicles, which is I'd say a B tier fantasy. And I know everybody's going to yell at me who loves the books, but it's a B tier fantasy from the mid '80s, which is actually a pretty darn good story. And I don't want an adaptation now, although there was an animation. But hail the estate. So I just want to make sure I am not missing anything. So yeah, I just wanted to hang out. This is longer than I thought we were going to go. I didn't want to sit here and say I'm a victim or anything like that about my strikes. It sucks. I'm fighting them. I still believe these are completely uncalled for. I think I was made an example of. I also think it's bait. And I fell for the bait. But the problem was there were a hell of a lot of people out there who fell for the bait, which would mean that the marketing around this show is going to be putting things out there that may or may not be real. Now, do I think this corporation is that malevolent or that talented to do that? I don't know. But what I think happened is somebody at Amazon Brazil put this out on YouTube like it was, so 130 people could see it before I and Purple did. And somebody needed to blame somebody, starting in Culver City at the Amazon Studios, going all the way down to wherever the hell it is in Brazil. And here we are. It's not the person's fault who put this out publicly. It's the fault of the person who actually saw it on YouTube, publicly available. But here we are, and it will get resolved one way or another. It's a great reaction. Purple, I'm still honored to do that. I'm very proud of that work.
I am
and I really appreciate.
I think we did a great job.
Yeah, and Steve, I really appreciate you calling it out. I don't make up bullshit to get views. I'm not saying other people do, but I don't. So that happened. Someday maybe we can all look at that trailer together and have a laugh. So let's do this before we go. First of all, I want to thank everybody for the super chats, everybody for being here tonight. We've had some great numbers. It means a lot to me to see a lot of the same familiar names in chat. And I'm sorry I couldn't put them all on screen because I'm busy trying to do all the other stuff because my Canadian producer is busy because, he's got a real life and he likes enjoying staying married. So, he comes on when he can, because I'm not going to cause any strife over there. Hail to you, Kyle, by the way. And yeah, Daniel, right? Dragonlance was a great book. What do you got going on next, Steve? Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing? How can people find you, Prophet of the Dragon?
Well, just there, Prophet of the Dragon YouTube channel. I do have a Twitter account. I don't know the hashtag off the top of my head, but whatever. Thinking maybe the boy is back. The boys, my kids are back. We may have a impromptu Wheel of Time game stream Sunday night. Maybe we'll see. But gonna crank out some more videos. I was talking to Amanda Manethrin. I said it right today. Sorry. Gonna try and crank out another stream or two in the coming weeks. So hopefully we'll have some consistent Wheel of Time-esque streams going on, and I'll be covering all this nonsense. Some other Wheel of Time stuff in the works too. Some unique ideas. I hope that I can get some time to work on. It'll be fun and informative. Book stuff, not show stuff, because the book stuff's where it's at, right?
It's the story. The rest of it is just things that Rafe Judkins pulls out of his bunghole. Purple Valkyrie, thank you for reminding me this. Doviende Setovi Seguin has been a member for 2 months at the Tavarian level. He just gifted 5 channel memberships. So the way those work, Purple, I'm still learning how to do this. You have to accept those memberships, and then you will become a channel member. Now, if you are a channel member, come and find us on Twitter, because Zax and Unbearable73, these are guys that run the chat and the calendar. We would love to welcome you in. You get to get some sneak peeks at some things. We also, Nerdporial hangs out around our place. A lot of people come and just hang out, and we talk about a lot of things that we don't on YouTube. So I welcome those 5 new channel members. I will be updating my credit roll scene with all of the channel member names that I have on it, and I'm grateful for all of you. And I hope that when your trial membership is over, that you continue to stay and be part of this fandom, because we do a monthly member stream where I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear you guys talk. Tell me about your fandom. Tell me what you love. We hang out for a couple hours, because you guys, your fandom and your experience is just exciting for me to hear about, as maybe people are excited to hear me or Steve or Purple talk about. So
yes, absolutely. And we've also got, obviously, we've started something new with the build streams, and that's one of the things that we're really excited about as well. We didn't realize that so many of our members and so many of the people that we work with and chat with were so talented. We're building and painting, and that was a real eye-opener.
Yeah. Fun. Sorry, you guys vamp for me a second while I need to address something that's going on in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, so just because I forgot, because I always gotta plug Nerdporial. We're doing after shows for Better Call Saul every Monday night after the episode. So if anybody likes Better Call Saul, I know it rings a power, but it's a very good show. So if anybody enjoys that, I'm always over there with him on Monday nights after the show. So come join us over there, have some fun.
Doviende Setovius again. I saw the notification, the pop-up, and I don't know how it works. I think it randomly picks 5 people who are not members of the channel. Then if you see that pop up, you simply accept it, and then welcome aboard. You're a member of Salty Texas Sea. So hail to you. And Dovey, you're awesome. Thank you, brother.
Yes. Thank you, Dovey.
What do you got going on, Purple Valkyrie? What's the what? We were talking about our build streams. My pirate ship is right over there, and I can't wait to build it some more, except that I needed my studio back. And I did get a brand new camera, a document camera, so I don't have to tear my whole house apart just to build a pirate ship. So, true story.
It is a true story. But first of all, let me say a huge thank you to both Salty and to Prophet the Dragon for doing this today, and to the chat. You guys were amazing as always. Yeah, we have lots more content coming. We've got not only the build streams coming, but on my channel tomorrow, I will have a show at 10 a.m. I've got Mexican Iron Man, who's going to be a guest, so it's great to chat with him again. We're going to be talking about what it means to be a fan, and where do we go from here? How do we continue to be a fan in the face of basically being called names constantly? How do we keep the love going? And then on Saturday, we've got a chill stream, and I think Prophet of the Dragon is going to join me for that as well. And I'll, if anybody else would like to join, just hit me up on Twitter.
I'm looking forward to it. And Purple, you and I talk about it all the time, but I can't wait to work with Mike with Mexican Iron Man. I know he's a big
Yes.
supporter of Snowdub 2 and the Cotton Connection and all that type of stuff. But yeah, I look forward to working with Mike and whoever else. I also want to shout out Disparu again for all of your help that you gave me last week, as well as the big unnamed YouTuber, which just again, thank you for your help, and thank you to everyone in you guys. The comments that you left on the video that I made about my channel is under attack, because it really is. It meant a lot to me. You guys said a lot of really heartfelt, great things, and just know I read every one of those comments, and I really appreciate it. So what have I got going on? Well, I'm looking forward to Friday. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long week at work, but I'm really looking forward to working on my pirate ship along with Purple Valkyrie and anybody else that wants to build things. It was great seeing everybody send pictures of their model work, of their Warhammer 40K, of how they painted Smog. You guys are amazing. Like, that's why I love this fandom. Like, I get to geek out because you guys show me how cool and creative you are. Like, it's amazing. Really, I love doing this. Going to be on Purple's show on Saturday. I don't think I'm doing anything on Sunday, but after this show, Kyle, Zach7 is going to be running his What's Good, and it's going to be about buddy movies tonight. So that's going to be starting in just half an hour. Please, if you're not subscribed to Zach7, please come and check it out. I will be there along with Zach's, Flaccid Phoenix. Purple, I don't know if you're there. I don't know who was all going to be there. It's a good time.
I'll be there.
Here's the selling point. YouTube took down the live stream 4 times last week.
Yes, true story.
Not kidding. 4.
We're going to go 6 this time.
It's the first time for everything. I was like, how the hell do you get your live stream taken down 4 times? You know, like,
too much good stuff happening
tonight. Let's see if we can get 5. Let's see if we can get that 5 takedowns tonight. You know
they
what
can't
I mean?
shut Zach's down. What are they trying? He's an Indian juggernaut.
Yeah. Zach's to the max. That's what it is. Darius Munchausen, hail to you, brother. It's great to see you. Also, OBG70 Mike, he runs a great astronomy channel. He does some really good fantasy reviews on his own, and he's a great appreciator of the Wheel of Time and Robert Jordan's works. He's asked me and a couple other people to participate in playing Dungeons & Dragons, AD&D 2nd edition rules.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to be looking for some other people to join as well. I'm not running this because I don't need any more responsibility, let's be honest. But I'll go and show up on somebody else's channel and eat chips and play Dungeons & Dragons, because I haven't done that in a long time. So that'll probably be happening. It won't be on my channel, but I will share that out if you guys are into that. I'm not entirely happy because I don't get to roll my own dice. Like, it's like going and playing like video poker. Like, I don't trust video poker. I want to play with real cards, right? Give me a fighting chance. But apparently this is how people play now. But I'm still going to bring my dice and bitch about it. But yeah, that'll be happening probably sometime in the future. I got to get with OBG70, but that'll be kind of cool. How do you play Dungeons & Dragons on the internet? I don't even
really
know.
Cool. So it's awesome. I'd love to see that. And we've also got a lot more Phenomenal coming as well.
Oh, we have so much woo-woo. We really do. We have dinosaur stuff. There's a big asteroid that might hit the planet at the end of this year. No, really. Like, really. Like, it really. Yeah,
really.
They're too busy talking about January 6th and pronouns. But let's not worry about the big ass. Like, it's 1,000 feet.
Asteroid?
It's 1,000 footer. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about eating bugs and bullshit like
Armageddon.
that.
They'll send the spaceships up there to blow them too. It's all good. We're fine.
Yep. Doviende, say Tovius again. I didn't accidentally make you a moderator. I gave it to you. If you don't want it, just let me know. I'll remove it. You're always here. You and I have talked in the real. If you would like to have that and be part of it, that's fine. If you don't want it, just let me know and I'll remove it. But you guys have been around my channel from the very beginning, and if you'd like to do it, I would love for you to participate like that. So, yeah, Hardlight says it. Please, please just edit it.
I'm like, yeah.
And Zach's wanted me to remind you all that 28 cows. Oh Jesus, the chat jumped on me. That it's no disrespect, Punk Waddle. That 28 cows mysteriously all fell down dead of lightning in Canada. You're welcome, Zach's. You happy? All right, I covered the story. There you go.
I watched
It's true.
that,
It's
yes.
freaky, right? Yeah. Apparently, Canada is a lot more dangerous than we know. But then again, we got that guy who likes to wear blackface all the time, telling everybody he bugs. I don't understand. That's not the Canada I used to hang out in the time. All right, I'm going to stop talking. You guys have been fantastic. Before we go, I'm going to review the results of the poll, and I know how to do this. I can find it. There it is. So 76 votes on the video tonight, asking the question, did you see the original reaction to the air quotes trailer that Purple Valkyrie and I did on July 8th? So out of those 76 votes, yes, and you guys rocked it, is at 49%, which means no, damn it, I missed it is 51%, but that is a razor thin margin. So
yes.
Yeah.
Had it been allowed to be up a little bit longer, I think the results would have been different. But
yeah.
Oh well.
I have that video. I download and save every video I make.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. You guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for being members of my channel. Thanks for sharing channel memberships. Thanks for supporting everyone else. Thank you for watching and subscribing to Steve, Purple Valkyrie, Zax, Flaccid Phoenix 2, Nerdporial Lifeform, Brandon, the anime guy, the Unbearable 73. Thanks to everybody. And I'm really grateful to be part of this group of up and coming content creators, because I am inspired every day by your kindness, by your skill and talent, and by how we support each other. So thank you. So that's it, you guys. I'm gonna play the trailer, and I'm gonna go eat a pizza because my brain starts to hurt because I haven't eaten all day. You guys have a good night. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.
As ever, this is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.